MX Linux released version 25.2 AHS. It features Xfce and Kernel 7. This version absolutely crushed it. In performance benchmarks, the single-thread processor test had an excellent result. It performed equally well with 5 threads. The random read and write speeds from the disk input-output tests have been the highest ever recorded in our testing history. Let us begin. We go to the website, view the desktop environment options, and download the AHS version, which features kernel 7.0.7. We boot the image and wait for the system to start up. Upon completion, it enters the Xfce desktop environment tuned by MX Linux. Now, we run the system installer, wait for it to load, then select the proper keyboard layout and press the Next option button. We select the appropriate disk. We use the regular installation with the entire disk, press Next and Start. Leave swap as is. We leave the default computer name and uncheck the Samba server option as we will not use it. Keep the default language and clock. Next, we input the username, password, and its confirmation. We also enter the root password and enable the automatic login option. Before finishing the install, we check the box to restart the computer when the process is done. It finishes and then reboots. During the reboot process, the system boots for the first time from disk. The network appears along with the welcome screen. We review the desktop panel and menu. The apps are those installed by default. Overall, the environment looks very modern. Next, we open the terminal and increase the text size. We also increase the window size. Then, we proceed to update the system. After the update, we try to install Fastfetch and Sysbench using sudo apt install. However, both packages are already installed. Then, we run Fastfetch. The kernel has a recent version. The idle memory and disk megabytes per package are quite excellent. Now, we execute specific commands to contrast the information regarding the distribution version, kernel, and memory usage. We also check the space occupied on the disk. Next, we verify the boot time by removing the firmware time, which is really fast. Now, we run Sysbench to evaluate the system. We test the single-thread processor performance. The result obtained is excellent. Next, we evaluate the processor, but using 5 threads to see its concurrency behavior. The events per second rate is great. We test the threads directly with Sysbench to evaluate how the system handles concurrency. The result is once again very good. Now, we evaluate the Mutexes to check log management efficiency using 5 threads. The result in comparison is excellent. We test memory reading to evaluate its management. The result obtained is excellent compared to other popular distributions. Now, we change the command arguments to analyze the memory write speed. The final result obtained is definitely very good. Next, we prepare the files for a disk input and output test. This gives us a really good indicator of sequential write speed. We run the test indicating that the mode will be random write and read. Both read and write results are absolutely excellent. Now, we execute the top command. We run Firefox to analyze memory consumption per browser tab without loading extensions. We open a second tab loading a video. With this, we want to measure memory consumption when opening multiple windows on average. Then, we open a third and fourth tab to see the average memory consumed per tab. The average result obtained is quite good. NVIDIA drivers do not come by default. We open MX Tools, then we choose NVIDIA driver installer and type the password. Then, it asks if we want to update. We press 1 or enter next. It asks if we accept the driver. Again, we press 1 or Enter. Driver installation has started. It warns us that we currently use Nouveau, but it will change upon reboot. We press Next. Then it will start building the module. We wait for the process to finish. Upon completion, it will configure the kernel module. When it finishes, we press Enter to exit. We close MX Tools, and from the terminal, we restart the system using sudo reboot. The system will reboot, this time with the NVIDIA drivers loaded. Upon entry, we open the terminal and install GL Mark II and Hashcat. We run GL Mark II, and it uses the default card to render, which is the Intel card, build measures driver and graphics capacity. Effect 2D evaluates accelerated 2D rendering. Desktop simulates a real desktop environment to measure compositor performance. Refract. This test simulates light refraction through transparent surfaces. The score obtained by Intel is above average. We run GL Mark II with environment variables, offload and vendor to render with NVIDIA bump, simulates relief through bump mapping. With the jellyfish test, it renders many moving semi-transparent objects. With shadow, we evaluate dynamic shadow projection. We continue with loop, a test that evaluates cycle efficiency within shaders. The score obtained by NVIDIA is outstanding. We can run the Hashcat command -I to see recognized devices. In this case, only the processor appears listed. Therefore, we must install the NVIDIA OpenCL packages, the OpenCL library headers, and the CL info package. We wait for it to end. We run the Hashcat command -I again. Now we can observe that the device with ID1 is the NVIDIA GPU and CUDA. We run Hashcat -B. CUDA is put to the test using hash algorithms. MD5 is old and fast, while SHA-1 is much more secure. SHA-256 provides greater cryptographic strength. SHA-512 uses longer hashes and tends to require more resources. It performed great. We have finished the evaluation of MX Linux. We close everything and power off the system. We will present the conclusion now. In conclusion, according to the performance tests, MX Linux 25.2 achieved the best performance among the 60 distributions evaluated. It is a well-deserved number 1 in the ranking. One area where the MX Linux team can still improve is graphics card performance. That has been all for this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, leave a like, and activate notifications. See you next time.